Guys, today we wanted to record a bit of a different video, and actually one of the most requested ones here on the channel. As many of you know, we run a separate business model from Avalanche Capital called the broker-dealer. What this essentially aims to solve is the problem that most agencies have. And this is a problem that I saw when I was running Avalanche Consulting, is a problem that our clients saw when we were assisting these businesses with scaling, and is effectively that it is difficult to acquire clients, it is difficult to retain those clients, but ultimately it's difficult to charge them as much as you possibly can. And it's difficult for you to differentiate yourself and your service from the hundreds of service providers there are out there. So in today's video, I'll get my CMO, Bruno, to jump on a call with one of our clients and show you the exact process we used to take that client from running an agency and effectively starting from zero with this new business model to $300,000 in cash collected in 90 days. We'll go over how we set up their offer, we go over how they did client acquisition, we go over how they even did the fulfillment and how we assisted them with that. So you get an A to Z breakdown of what the process looks like of setting an agency in a business like this from the ground up, effectively allowing them to see success quite early on. So without further ado, let's jump into it. If there are any questions that you have around this business model, or if you're more interested to know in general, please feel free to drop in the comments. I'll obviously be replying to all of those as I always do on the other YouTube videos. And I'll also leave a link where you'll be able to understand a bit more about our success stories and what this model is predicated on. Without further ado, let's get Bruno on here.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Alex, and my business partner's name is Dylan. We're located here in Boca Raton, Florida, and really before getting involved in the deal raising space, I was an agency owner, and my business partner was involved in e-commerce. Fairly successful prior to this venture. We had both done multiple seven figures in our respective industries. However, we really wanted to find something that could basically give us the greatest amount of leverage and the greatest amount of bang for our buck, so to speak. So, if I put in 1% of effort, I would love to see 100x return. And I think that's where so many people get lost today, is they're working in industries and they're working on projects that, yeah, maybe you see a quick wins and a little bit of money. But you're never really going to be able to become free or to become wealthy with those ventures, simply because number one, it's a red ocean, it's a lot of competition, or number two, you don't have enough leverage involved. There's not enough bang for your buck, so to speak. So that's kind of where we started. Again, both fairly successful. I just turned a young age of 30 years old, and my partner as well. So we kind of went through our 20s just hustling and grinding and making it happen. And then that's when I ran across this concept of deal making and capital raising. And I found Bernardo online, and I really was intrigued by his success at such a young age. He's a few years younger than me, and he's massively, massively successful, having raised hundreds of millions of dollars. I had to ask him, like, how did you do it? And Bernardo opened up his knowledge and his mindset to me, and shared with me how blue of an ocean this space really is, because what they lack is something that we have, which is the understanding of marketing and how to go out there and create massive amounts of deal flow and create massive amounts of opportunity. So that's what really got me excited. And Bernardo was just so open about what it actually takes. One thing I really love about working in this space with Bruno and Bernardo is they're going to give it to you straight. And I really appreciate that. I don't really respect, somebody that promises you the world and, they just tell you everything you want to hear so that you do a deal with them. Bernardo kept it 100% with me, and he let me know, like, hey, this is going to be work. You got to learn the system. But we're going to show you everything that needs to be done if this is something that you really want to embark on. So that's what brings us here today.
All right, perfect. So can you give us the walkthrough of Catalyst Capital in terms of which industries you're involved in and projects you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, for sure. So we really didn't know what we were going to do when we first came into the space. We were looking at AI, we were looking at e-commerce, and we ended up actually on real estate. Simply because both my partner and I have been active investors in real estate. We had some connections inside of the space, and the team really helped us formulate a thesis around the real estate sector, because it's such a big industry and capital is always going to be needed there. So that was really exciting. And, pretty quickly we landed our first couple of deals. So we quickly got our investment back again. I'm one of the first students over here. So, it's really just been a handshake relationship with these guys. And, I basically invested in first couple of deals. We brought in $25,000 pretty fast in cash. I have another deal right now that's closing for a $40,000 upfront fee. And this is all within the first, 90 days of the program. I say 90 days. Yeah, it's been a little longer than that, but during the Christmas holiday, like everything kind of shuts down in this space. So we'll call it 90 days. So that's 40, 50, about $65,000 in upfront fees. And then we currently have 3 term sheets in for right around $9 million of term sheets that should be getting signed. So as soon as those get signed, our commission in terms of that, and they will be getting signed this month, times 0.05, we'll make, around $400,000 in commissions, which is really awesome. And then, we have a couple other deals that we're actively raising for, as well as a $77 million raise that is looking to be signed by the end of the month. So yeah, in terms of where we're at now, I mean, these are numbers that I thought I could only achieve within a year time frame. $500,000 of income and making these things happen is just crazy to think that we're going to be able to accomplish these things and within the first 6 months of business. And from there, it's a snowball effect because deals start to close faster and faster. You start to get better. And you start to understand how this process works. So yeah, I hope that added a little bit of clarity in terms of where we're at.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And this is the main thing that we want to get people to understand, which is transitioning from an agency to this model may seem scary at first, perhaps because you don't understand the space or because you don't know the first thing about finance or raising capital. But it's just having understanding that you're just moving to a higher leverage model where you can still leverage your marketing and sales expertise in a market that's going to pay you 10, 15, 20 times more than your regular, agency clients would. So not only are you getting to work with fewer clients, they also pay you much better and you're directly incentivized to deliver great results for them, because whereas with an agency, you're maybe allocating 80% of your efforts towards client acquisition and have 20% of your efforts to fulfillment, which is not ideal at all. We want to minimize the amount of clients that we work with and maximize the alpha from taken from each client. That's essentially the premise of this model and what we believe in, and it's the reason why yourself and Dylan have been so successful with this. And it's also really worth mentioning that we've worked with a few guys like yourselves, and you're by far the most out there and just like networking and getting to meet people and trying to find ways to get the deals done faster, which is ultimately where we make the majority of the money in this space. The setup fees are attractive, but if you just focus on that, you'll be working with 200 clients and you're not getting any deals done. Whereas you can work with one client and make 1 million a year. So that's the premise of this model.
I think that just to piggyback on that, it's like I think setting the proper expectations for anyone watching this call. And look, I'm new in this space, but you recognize patterns, right? So what I see is like, in an agency, a marketing agency, you could scale to 100K within, 90 days or 60 days. And look, you can definitely do that here. But for us, where I'm like, I've played the short game of business, of having a marketing agency, bringing on a bunch of clients, getting okay results, the churn and burn game. I don't want to live that life anymore. Like I'm at a more mature standpoint of my business relationship. So what's more important to me is my reputation, right? Is doing things right by people, especially in this game. You are dealing with the highest, the most successful types of entrepreneurs. You're playing the game of money. And so learning this game is going to take time. You're not going to come in and know everything right off the bat. But that's where, again, the team really supports you, number one. And you just have to be patient, right? Like that's one thing that I've really learned is, okay, I've got to be patient with this game. I've got to want the success for my clients. And instead of, a regular marketing agency just going and churning and burning everybody and not being able to sleep at night because you lost 10 clients last week and you have to go replace those people, it's about building real relationships, right? And so for me, it's about going out, meeting the people that are in the game of finance, right? Who plays this game at the highest level, and then knowing that I have a value that is so great to them, which is the ability to source deals, find deals, and bring those deals to them, that these guys want to treat me well as well. So it's a symbiotic relationship. The client's grateful, the money team is grateful, the guys that you have on the back end, and all you're doing is you're brokering that network. And so this is really a game of relationships, and it's just patience. It's all about patience, and it's all about going out there and just starting these conversations, having the conversations, and then you're going to start to piece two and two together. So it's exciting, and if you can do that, if you can be patient and you can think long term, yeah, you're by far going to make more money than you would ever make in a marketing agency doing this game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So you can be as transparent as you want here. So how has the experience been working with us, and what did we assist you with? You can go from the start in terms of like all the way from sales collateral and how important that was rather, and creating the offer, all the way to fulfillment and the legal side of things as well.
Everything has been amazing. When I invest in the programs, I never expect somebody to do it for me, right? Like, I don't expect somebody to do it for me, but I do expect enough support to where I understand the process. And from this game, Bernardo has been so hands-on. He's been like, it's been insane. And Bruno as well. But from the jump, it was, okay, let's build the foundation. Who is our ideal client avatar? Why are we going after them? And then it was once Bernardo and we dissected that, we went out and we put out a thesis, and Bruno helped us dissect, what is our marketing play here? How are we going to actually go out and reach out to these individuals? But not only did they do that, and I don't know if they're going to do this for anybody watching this video, but for me, being an early adapter, they actually went out, they built the campaigns, and they started booking people on my calendar. And then Bernardo showed up to my calls to help me close deals. And so for me, like, you can't expect anything more than this in terms of it being handheld. So it was absolutely incredible, and they're still doing it to this day. They want to show up because we're also a team, right? They're an extension of my team, being involved in this network, being involved with Avalanche and whatever the group is going to be called. They're incentivized to help us win, and so I find it invaluable. Like, there couldn't be a better big brother agency above me helping me. They want to see us win. And I realize this too, right? I understand that they have selfish reasons for helping us win, but that's fine by me, because I couldn't get as far as I'm going unless these guys were here doing what they're doing on a day-by-day basis. So it's really a symbiotic relationship, where I have this big brother helping me. And for anybody watching this video, it's like, dude, I hope you're a rock star. I hope when you come into this network, you're ready to rock, because the more deals you get and the more deals we all bring to the table, we're going to have different networks that can help fund those deals. Or maybe I come across a deal that's not in my network, I can pass that on to you. So it's really important to me that we're bringing in absolute studs to help us achieve our goals together. And we just have a great network of people that are pushing this thing forward. And hopefully, maybe, I'm helping close these deals, because for me, it's become so natural, right? Having watched Bernardo do it, and we're just helping each other. We're helping with our networks, we're helping with our knowledge, and we're helping with support. And I think that's where Bernardo and Bruno and the team over there, Lev being in legal, I don't know anything about this, and this game is such a game of compliance you have to play, that they have all of the small little pieces figured out to make sure that we're doing the right things and we're abiding by compliance. So everything from A to Z, marketing, sales, fulfillment, support, these guys have been, 10 out of 10. It's been amazing.
It's great to hear. And on the fulfillment front, we could just talk a little bit more about that. Can you talk about what it was like, once you close your first few deals, and where we assisted with the fulfillment for your clients?
Yeah, for sure. So fulfillment is been going good. The way that we've been doing it is we've been using email marketing to connect with the money on the back end, and that seems to really start taking off. But on top of that, full transparency, guys, I also started reaching out to my network and people that were in finance. So because I'm in real estate, I started reaching out to guys that I know in my own personal network that I could just send these deals to, right? And that's the thing, like there's so many different ways to get a deal done. And you don't really know who is in your network that can assist you until you start having the conversations. And one person's going to point you to the next person that's going to be able to fulfill the deal. So I want to think about it as relationships first and then technology and marketing second, right? And so both of them are needed in order to fulfill these deals at the highest level possible. And where these guys, where Bruno and Bernardo really come in, is they're making sure that we're stacking our value, right? Your relationships, number one, like who do you know in your network, right? Or who do we know in our network, right? If you come on to this program, like if you bring a deal on, shoot, maybe Bernardo can help you fulfill. Maybe I can help you fulfill, because step one in our fulfillment process is warm network introductions, right? That's for everyone. So who do we know in the network, right? And I'm excited for maybe a Slack channel with all of us. It's like, hey, I got this deal. Who can help fulfill? Then I reach out to my network and we share that, the success. But then on top of that, it's, investor relations, and then actually sending out the deals to people who can fulfill. So Bruno has been excellent in terms of helping us create demand through marketing copy and through email structure, as well as Shiraz, the tech integration specialist, who's helping actually set up. What's up?
Legend.
Yeah. He's an absolute legend. He helps us actually execute on these email campaigns. And so everything starts to stack up, which again is why I'm like, man, like, I hope that anybody we're bringing into this team is going to be able to add as much value as these guys, and that I feel like I am myself. Because again, this is a network, right? Capital Launch Network, or whatever they decide to call it. It's all about relationships first, and then technology is kind of the catalyst behind it.
Awesome, man. Appreciate the kind words there. And
Sure.
one final one before we go, just in terms of plans and projections for 2025. Where do you see the business going? What stuff do you have in a pipeline that you're looking forward to executing on over the coming months?
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of revenue, I'd like to do 5 million in revenue in 2025 through this process. And the way that we're going to do that is bolstering our marketing and bolstering our fulfillment. So some of my personal plans are to continue to go, or not to continue, start to actually go to live events. I think that there's such a power in face-to-face, right? To continue to bolster our marketing campaigns online, have Zoom meetings as well. But like for me, I plan to go to family office events. I plan to go out and do a one-on-one mastermind with Bruno and Bernardo to have them like really their hands on in my business, just because I don't want to miss anything, right? I don't want to rely on anybody except for myself in terms of effort. Like I know if I put in the effort, the 5 million will be done. So it's going to start with the relationships mixed with the technology, going to masterminds, going to events, meeting with family offices, meeting with investors, making sure that when I show up to these calls with the campaigns that Bruno's running for us, I'm 100% dialed in, right? Like you can't really take days off here. You've got to be focused. You've got to be ready to go. And just, you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it my all. I think if we can do those things, right, coupled with what you guys have going on, as well as my own personal efforts, and for anybody out there, it's the same thing for you. That's where, you can build a 7-figure agency, 7-figure capital advisory firm year one, and then 8 figures year two. And so that's kind of the goal short term, and how we're going to accomplish those things.
That's it. Sounds awesome, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking time to come through and give everyone a walkthrough of what the process has been like. And yeah, looking forward to what 25 has in store for us. And it'll be a great one.
Yes, sir. Let's make it happen.
Take care, buddy. Bye bye.
All right. See you, brother.